Good morning and welcome to the Piccalillian Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. Hey, it is the NFL Week 6 and we are ready for some football. I'm your host, Matt Lowry, and alongside me are 25-year fantasy football veterans Henry the Commish Brick and Professor Steve Wynn. We got a jam-packed show in store for you. We're going to cover injuries and news around the NFL, our Week 6 picks, our studs, duds, and sleepers, and a little contest for our listeners called Beat the Commish.
Oh, yeah.
All right. You can call us now at 609-573-ESPN. That's 609-573-3776 with any lineup questions that you might have before the games kick off in just a couple hours. All right, let's get things started. First off, Commish, how'd you do last week in the Beat the Commish game?
Matt, to do well in this game, you really need to pick the sleepers. I unfortunately came in 11th last week overall, and basically my picks were fast asleep. This week, however, I have surefire picks that will easily propel me to the top of the board. The good news is there's easy money for someone to win. All you got to do is sign up at fantasyplayerexchange.com.
We finally got past the delusion, didn't we, Kamesh?
You know what I love? I love how he does so bad and he tries to spin that around. And so it's easy money for you. I'm doing it for you. It's not that I picked the wrong guys.
It's all for the listeners.
That's right. And if you beat the Commish, the guy who beat you by the most, how much does he get?
So he gets $50 each week, and guess what? If you sign up again today, you get $10 in your account for free. It's only $2 to play. At the end of the season, whoever beats me by the biggest margin gets $1,000 from fantasyplayerexchange.com.
And it's pretty easy to beat him by a large margin right now.
Apparently it is.
All right, Professor, how's your fantasy season going right now?
My fantasy season's going pretty well. I'm at the top of the power rankings. I'm still the king of points against, but I'm happy to be in football season. You know, when we got this big movie with Ben Affleck going on right now about the Iran-Contra crisis.
Sure.
You know, when they came back from Iran, Bowie Kuhn, commissioner of Major League Baseball, wanted to give them all lifetime season tickets.
Right.
And they were told, haven't they been tortured enough? So, yeah, we've got some football instead of baseball going now, and I'm happy. Get out to the website, look at our waiver wires, our trade reports, and everything has been solid gold through 5 weeks. We can help you.
All right. Remember, you can get all the great advice and more from the professor right on our website, kickassfantasyfootball.com. All right. We had our first post-game fantasy stat change last week. In the Eagles-Steelers game, Mendenhall was originally credited with a rushing touchdown. After the game, it was changed by the league office to a passing touchdown. So it also gave Roethlisberger then a touchdown, and in a PPR league, it gave Mendenhall a catch. If that affected your game, we want to hear from you. Did you lose and you thought you won, and then all of a sudden Roethlisberger gets an extra touchdown in there, and it messed you up? What do you guys think of that?
Yeah, you know, I play in many leagues, as you know, Matt. Maybe I guess I'm in 10 leagues again this year. About 4 of them were changed because I was playing against Roethlisberger in all those cases, and it definitely affected me. I lost 3 out of the 4 games. So I'd like to hear from anybody else who wants to share in the misery with me. But yeah, I mean, listen, I watched the highlight of the game. I didn't see the game when it was played, but the highlight of the game did show it was a passing touchdown. It wasn't a lateral.
Yeah, the old school looking at the USA Today on Monday is a thing of the past. If your league site says that you go by the NFL points, you can't complain about it just because the ref said it. So you got to look at your rules and you got to know them.
All right, well, let's get into some injury news around the NFL. Commish, why don't you start us out? What do we got going on?
Chief starting quarterback Matt Castle out with a concussion. Look for Brady Quinn to carry the load for him today.
Okay, Rams quarterback Sam Bradford added to the injury report despite practicing this week. He is expected to start, so don't worry if you've got him in your starting lineup. Well, you should worry about other things.
And RG3, still questionable from the mild concussion he suffered last week. Barring any setbacks, should go today. Still waiting for clearance. If not, look for Kirk Cousins to get the start.
What happened to the other RG3 on that team? You know, Rex Grossman also a third. He is on that team. At the running back position, Bernard Scott has been placed on the season-ending IR. Can we get a sound clip of Doc Brown from Back to the Future saying, great Scott here? No? No? If we don't have a comedy bit, why am I reporting on Bart Scott or Bernard Scott? Are we handcuffing Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis now? Did I miss a meeting?
Hey, Cardinals running back Ryan Williams placed on IR with a big shoulder injury. Look for LaRod Stevens Howling, William Powell, and even Alfonso Smith to split a bunch of carries today in the absence of Ryan Williams.
Yeah, it's a mess out in Arizona. Ryan Matthews expected to play today. By far the best ball carrier on that team. If you remember, he was briefly considered to be a top 10 fantasy draft pick in the preseason. If his collarbone stays healthy, if he stays on the field for the rest of 2012, he could be a huge surprise for your team.
Absolutely. Peyton Hillis, not that it matters, is out. Sean Drone, practice Friday, expected to play, and will back up Jamal Charles.
At least Peyton Hillis was drafted. Bernard Scott, come on. Donald Brown is out. Rookie running back Vic Ballard will start for him. I got to tell you, I got beat out on the waiver wire trying to get him this week. He had he's got a lot of good talent. He's going to be the guy carrying the rock. He's a decent flex play, at least, for bye week coverage.
Everybody wanted him.
Yeah. Everybody wanted him? Okay.
As the treasurer, everyone was sending me money for the waiver wires. That was going to go big.
Unbelievable. How about Reggie Bush still nursing the sore knee? Should go today. Look for Lamar Miller to back him up in the event Bush can't go.
Commissioner, is this the injury report, or is this just your roster we're going through here?
Yeah.
49er Brandon Jacobs, practice Friday, expected to be available this week. He's been complaining about his role, which does not fly with Coach Harbaugh. Kendall Hunter has been getting it done. I don't know if Jacobs is going to get much value unless something serious happens to Frank Gore.
Right.
Well, I agree, but you know what? The good news is they are playing his former team, I believe, today. So I like to see the old players play against former team. Good stuff. Could be a goal line guy for someone today. Andre Brown out with a concussion. David Wilson will back him up and is looking to actually share a little bit of carries with Ahmad Bradshaw, which was the original plan.
Okay, one of my preseason darlings, Packer Cedric Benson, placed on injured reserve. Has the possibility to come back in 8 weeks. He will probably not. Alex Green and James Starks are going to share carries. Mike McCarthy says he's going to go with the hot hand. I think Green's going to be that hot hand, but it's far from a sure thing in Green Bay.
Brandon Bolin, the sensational rookie out of New England, is questionable with a sore knee today. Make sure you check that injury report up until game time. Look for backup Shane Vereen to probably sit again this week with a foot injury. Both questionable for today. Okay,
continuing my Ohio players nobody cares about. Brown starting wide receiver Muhammad Massaquoi is out. Josh Gordon will play in his spot. He can only be considered a desperation play for fantasy.
Starting wide receiver Malcolm Floyd was added to the injury report late Friday with a groin injury. So if you got Mal Floyd going today, check that injury report. Make sure he's playing.
Okay, Hakeem Nicks. Guess what, folks? Game time decision. Dominic Hickson will start if Nicks can't play. Ramses Barden is expected to play. The problem is we don't know which of these players is the great play until game time, and they play the 49ers. It's not great.
Martellus Bennett, the tight end for the New York Giants, has a hyperextended knee. Is probable. I don't know how much we're going to get out of him today, so if you have a better option, tight end, go with it.
Jet Stephen Hill is expected to start. The Jets need him. T.O. pimping himself as the answer to the Jets' woes. Jets fans, if T.O. is your answer, start drinking now, even though it's only 9 in the morning.
Dustin Keller, it looks like, is going to be back. Thank God the Jets need someone viable to throw the ball to today.
Greg Jennings out. James Jones will start for him again today in Green Bay. Opportunity to be huge for fantasy.
Man, there's just a ton of injuries on
I know. I'm sitting there saying, are y'all done yet?
Yeah, it's insane. Jermichael Finley, questionable with the shoulder injury. I don't like him because of his horrible hands anyway, but final status will be decided in pregame warmups.
His backup, DJ Williams, looked good. Not a bad play if you're desperate at tight end. Raider wide receiver Darius Hayward-Bay on target to start. Get him in your lineup if you need him as your wide receiver number 3 or an upside number 2.
Danny Amendola out with that shoulder injury. Steve Smith, Austin Pettis. I mean, the list goes on. Brandon Gibson, Brian Quick, Givens. There's all kinds of guys there. It's a big mess in the Rams to fill in for Amendola.
When's the last time we went longer than the song?
I know.
For our injury report? Crazy. Pierre Garçon added to the injury report Friday. One of the most frustrating places in fantasy this year. He's not officially clear on who's going to start if Garçon is out, but I expect it to be Leonard Hankerson. Expect him to be a decent flex play.
And finally, the last injury is Jerome Simpson with a lower back and foot problem. He's questionable. Did see light work this Friday. He'll be his stats will be decided pregame warmups.
All right, so thank God we're through that. Man, yeah,
It's good that the official refs are back, so we cut down on injuries,
really,
right?
that's right. All right. Well, we got a special guest with us today. We got Jim Day from Fantasy Football Crystal Ball Game Day Decision Made Easy. Jim has some great stuff going on with the commish. Jim, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
Hey, great, Jim. Great having you. We love listening to you on Blog Talk Radio on the Fantasy Football Crystal Ball Show. I got to be on your show just a few weeks ago, and boy, just great. Answering a lot of questions, helping people with their lineups. Tell us a little bit about what you do and how you come up with the aggregate that you have.
Well, we go out to many different top expert sites, all the big sites, a lot of the smaller sites, but that have big name fantasy guys on them. We aggregate all their rankings. We put it all together. It just makes your game day decisions easier and hopefully more accurate based on all of these experts all at one time. And, this week we're having a special free week for owners that play at RT Sports and MFL. So come on out, give us a try. We'd love to have you give it a shot.
Now, Jim, let me ask you. This is the professor. Do you do any weighting of particularly good rankings? Because I am going to be on the show with you guys this afternoon, and I'd like my picks to have a little bit more weight. Is that something we can get done?
Oh, absolutely. I'll talk to Scott Pashley. I'm sure we can put you right at the top of the list.
Great stuff, Jim.
And Jim, what time does your show start there on Blog Talk Radio?
11 a.m. every Sunday morning.
And you go up until what time?
Just till 12. 1 hour show, 60 minutes.
Okay, so a lot of that injury reports and stuff, we've ran down a whole bunch of them as it becomes more clear. The chance that you're going to be able to help guys out with their lineup after we find out who's going and who's not.
Oh, absolutely. And I heard your whole litany of injury report, all great stuff. So many people, it's hard to imagine. But I do have one quick update. Adam Schefter is reporting that Robert Griffin III will start today.
Ah, nice. Thank God.
The commission is very happy that RG3 is playing. He's got him in a lot of places. I'm not.
But it's been a crazy year for fantasy football. I know we say that every year, but just so many players that haven't lived up to their potential, and so many players that have stepped up in their stead. It just we knew quarterback would be a deep position, but I didn't think anybody knew how deep it would be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we've actually been back and forth on the show about whether the replacement refs were skewing things away from the studs, and now a lot of the studs are starting to come on. If we want to get into a little bit of that on the show, I'd be more than happy to bounce that back and forth with you.
Oh, absolutely. We try and guide it by the callers and the questions, but we usually have some free time to bandy that about, so that would be a great topic.
Hey, Jim, we actually got a couple callers on the line now. You want to take a couple calls with us?
Absolutely.
All right.
Fantastic.
All right, we got Sean from Cape May on the phone. Sean, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Not
Great.
too bad. What do you got for us?
Well, I got 4 receivers here. I got Torrey Smith home against Dallas, Victor Cruz at San Francisco, Miles Austin at Baltimore, and Jordy Nelson at Houston. I'm scared.
Yeah.
I don't like any of them. I think Victor Cruz is going to get stuffed in San Francisco with how well he did last year.
Sure. How many can you start?
I can put 2 in.
Yeah, Cruz is the one that leaps off the page at me. I think that he is a certain start, and you know what? I like Miles Austin.
I do
the remaining
too.
3.
I do too. Miles Austin is a good start today. You can throw the ball on Baltimore, and I think you should find some success today.
What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you guys. I mean, Nelson hasn't done much. I mean, he could instantly have a big game, but you can't count on that based on what he's done so far. Torrey Smith doesn't have a good matchup against his Dallas secondary that's playing excellent. I agree with you. Cruz and Austin's got to be the guys you go with.
All right.
Hey, Sean, do you want a Sunday Fun Day shirt?
That'd be great.
All right, awesome. I'll give you, our producer Scott will tell you how to get it.
All right.
All right, thanks a
Thanks
lot.
for calling, man.
All right. And we got Frank
Wow,
on.
you guys even give away shirts.
Hey,
Oh, man, we don't screw around here, man.
Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff. All right, we got Frank on the phone from Baltimore. Frank, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, guys. How's it going?
All
Frank.
right,
Great.
what do you got for us?
I've got a couple questions. The first one is, RG3 or Matt Stafford as quarterback?
Unfortunately, it's RG3. I don't like Stafford's matchup today, so even RG3 injured at 80% is probably a better play.
Yeah, RG3 is definitely the play. I got him in our top 5, where you can find all our projections at kickassfantasyfootball.com. Jim, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you until Stafford shows us something different.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, Frank, you want to?
My other question is, I drafted very well in receivers, but I have 2 of them off, and I have to choose my third receiver between Dwayne Bowe and let me see. I forgot my third receivers. Bowe or Larry Fitzgerald?
Okay. I was going to say if it's just Bowe, I got to go with Bowe. But in this case, you know what? I like Larry Fitzgerald this week. I think that he's a good play for you.
I'm going to give you a little bit of tidbit. How about Aqib Talib is out, so Bowe should do pretty well today.
I saw that too, and the thing I have a question is: do you gentlemen ever play, like, if you have, say, Charles on your team? Do you look at that? Do you like having 2 players on the same team on your lineups?
Well, I mean,
I would have Charles and Bowe if I played.
One at
Charles,
running back, one
Bowe.
at receiver. I don't mind that so much, but if Charles does a start every week, and then to me, Bowe, I'm looking at the matchup. What do you guys think?
What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, I think the matchup too. Go ahead, Jim.
Well, I saw Cobb last week. He can't throw a ball from your back.
Well, you know what? Cobb had a very tough defense last week. He doesn't this week. He goes against Buffalo, who's 32nd in the league against opposing quarterbacks, already given up 12 passing touchdowns. Cobb is going to have a great game today. So is Fitzgerald. Get him in your lineup. Kansas City, Aqib Talib is out, but Brady Quinn is in.
Yeah,
that doesn't fill me with a lot of glee. Go with Fitzgerald. Go with Cobb. They're going to get it done today.
Yeah, spoiler alert, I do have Kevin Cobb as one of my reaches.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, Frank, you want a Sunday Funday shirt?
Yeah, sure, that'd be
All
fine.
right, hold on, I'm going to give you our producer. I'll show you how to get it.
All right, and now we got Vinny from Philly on the phone. Vinny, welcome to the show. What do you got for us?
Thanks. Hey, guys, how you doing? I love your show, man. That's what to tell you.
All right, thanks.
Listen, I'm in a flex league. A PPR, it's a flex. It's kind of similar to the last situation. I have Jamal Charles, Ray Rice, and Trent Richardson. I was thinking of starting all 3. Charles, I know he's a must-start, but with Tampa, kind of, it's got me, I don't know if I should start him because I got pretty solid receivers. My 5 receivers that I have Dwayne Bowe, Pierre Garçon, James Jones, Torrey Smith, and Wes Welker. So I was thinking about starting the 3 backs and then 2 of the receivers. What do you guys think?
What do you think, Jim? I'll send it to you first.
Well, absolutely start all 3 backs. I mean, Tampa Bay's been tough against the running back, but they haven't come across any running back like Jamal Charles is running right now. He's going to be able to do damage in both the run and pass game against them this week. Absolutely must start. Start all 3 of these guys running good right now. The wide receivers, I mean, James Jones doesn't have a great matchup against a tough Houston defense, but they're going to have to get him involved to get in this game. I like his chances. And then Wes Welker is the easy number 2 at wide receiver for me. Garçon's still not 100%. And like I said, Bo's getting Brady Quinn throwing to him. I just don't trust Brady Quinn.
Yeah, I like
how I feel, exactly.
Yeah, I like the receiver picks, and frankly, if I had Charles Rice and Trent Richardson as my running backs, the only decision I'd have to worry about is what brand of champagne to buy when I won the Super Bowl. So you got some solid plays there.
What do you think, Kamish?
Yeah, I like all 3 running backs also. Welker's just getting it done in the PPR, and you say you also have Torrey Smith or Bowe. I am leaning towards Bowe only because I like the matchup, and I think Brady Quinn's got something to prove today.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot for the call.
Do you want a Sunday Fun Day shirt? We'll send you over to our producer. You interested in that, Vinny?
Absolutely. That'd be great.
We'll put you over to the producer.
All right. And Jim, appreciate it. Some great advice you have there, and you can check Jim out on Blog Talk Radio today, starting at 11 o'clock, going till 12 o'clock to help you with your lineup. And you're going to be with him today, Professor, right?
I'm going to be there. Hopefully, I'm a little bit additive. I'll try and keep the jokes to a minimum, Jim.
No, please don't.
All right, Jim.
I love jokes. I'm not a serious guy.
Well, we appreciate you calling in, and we'll see you at 11 o'clock on Blog Talk Radio.
Okay, thanks, guys, very much for having me on.
All right.
Get a chance to do it again someday.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay.
All right, when we come back, we're going to keep the phone lines going. We're going to give you your last-minute lineup help. You're listening to the Pick-a-Lilly-In Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show here on 97.3 ESPN.
Famous for a buffalo wing. The Pick-a-Lilly. When it comes to cooking wings, we're the king. The Pick-a-Lilly. Pull up a chair, grab a table, enjoy the atmosphere. Have something good to eat or have yourself around. If you can't stop in, stop back. Great food, great drinks where everybody is a friend. If you can't stop in, stop back. The Pick-a-Lilly-In.
It isn't fall without the famous Pick-a-Lilly-In. Catch all of your favorite football action at the Pick-a-Lilly-In. Check out the Pick's brand new menu featuring homemade buffalo chicken egg rolls, buffalo shrimp, scallops, and the tender Pick burger. They go great with one of the Pick's ice-cold on-tap beers. Catch every football game at the Pick. Enjoy an awesome meal while you watch your favorite team. The Pick-a-Lilly-In, a Jersey tradition since the 1920s. On Route 206 in Chemong. If you can't stop in, stop back.
The Pick-a-Lilly-In.
Now is your chance to experience the new game that's transforming fantasy sports. Fantasy Player Exchange is a new daily game that allows you to compete against friends and fantasy foes for cash prizes. With FPX, you can select 5 players from any active sport. Sign up now at fantasyplayerexchange.com for your chance to beat ESPN Radio's Henry the Commish Brick and win $1,000 cash. Go to fantasyplayerexchange.com to sign up and play today. Remember, that's fantasyplayerexchange.com.
Fantasy Football, the Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. Every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. here on 97.3 ESPN. Join the Professor, the Commish, and Fantasy Insider Matt Lowry for the Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. Got a question? Call us. Who should you start? Who should you trade? Who's great? And who just plain sucks? The Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. On the web at kickassfantasyfootball.com. Yeah, kickassfantasyfootball.com. And every Sunday at 9 a.m.
I felt that one way up here.
Right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Don't let your fantasy issues become a reality. Fantasy Judgment is the premier dispute resolution service for all fantasy sports leagues. Led by attorney Michael Stein, the Supreme Court of Fantasy Judgment will resolve any and all issues or conflicts that arise in fantasy leagues. This includes disputed trades, collusion, abuse of power by league commissioners, lineup and roster errors, draft issues, score discrepancies, and interpretation of league rules. We alleviate the burden for league commissioners and allow everyone to focus on winning their leagues rather than arguing over disputes. Visit www.fantasyjudgment.com.
And welcome back to the Pick-a-Lilly-In Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. Hey, our phone lines are open. If you need help from our experts, the number 609-573-ESPN. That's 609-573-3776. We will help you with your lineup going into Week 6. All right, guys, it's time for my favorite segment, the Dude I'm Sorry. Hey, this is where we admit who we messed up on last week and put a little egg on our face. So, Commish, who are you sorry for?
Last week, I really liked Donnie Avery from the Colts. I thought he was a sure thing.
Donnie Avery.
Yes. He did have 8 targets in the game and just missed a 50-yard touchdown pass from Luck, but he ended up with 3 catches for 22 yards. For this, dude, I'm sorry.
You're George McFly.
Okay, well, I had 2 of my picks, Jermichael Finley and Cedric Benson, get injured, but I don't apologize for injuries. Nothing I can predict there. However, I did have a legit bad call with Joe Flacco last week. No one wants to watch a 9-6 football game, and no one wants to see such a bad line in their starting quarterback. Dude, I am sorry.
Why do you keep calling me Calvin?
All right, great stuff there. And but now it's time to pat ourselves on the back and break our arms there a little bit with who you the man about, Professor?
I'm really flexible with the patting on there.
Yeah,
patting myself on the back, so I got it under control.
Yes.
Trent Richardson has quietly been a stud this season. He's one of my Week 6 picks coming up. He's one of the Commissioner's Week 6 picks coming up. I had him last week. He kept up the good work, 127 combined yards, 5 catches, a touchdown, all solid all around. He's number 5 at running back, number 4 overall. I've been riding that performance. I am the
And
man.
that's when he came up with the idea for the flux capacitor.
Well, listen, everyone needs to pay close attention to my stud of the week every week. I've been nailing it with consistency, and this week will be no different. Last week I said Matt Ryan will go off, and he did. He was 34 of 52 for 345 and 2 touchdowns. Yes, I'm the man.
Lighten up, jerk!
All right. It's time now for the Piccalilli Picks of the Week. Hey, you know who to start the studs. You know you got to start your Aaron Rodgers and that kind of thing. We look a little deeper to give you guys who can have great performance for this week in Week 6. So, Commish, why don't you start us out with the quarterback Piccalilli Picks of the Week. Who do you got?
Love Mike Vick today. He's at home against Detroit. The Lions secondary just stinks. I think Vick really finds his way today and does a great job.
He's been in the wilderness lately, so I hope he finds his way for the Eagles fans out there. Quarterback Andy Dalton gets the Browns this week. Dalton, surprisingly, starting to challenge as a fantasy starter. I like him moving forward, and if he continues to progress like this, he's going to be the guy that we're talking about in 3 years as a stud every week.
Oh, that's good to hear, because I do have him in our staff league, guys, where I'm 5-0. Thank you. Anywho, Andrew Luck. Love him against the Jets. No Revis. Jets are in turmoil. Love the matchup. Start Luck.
Okay. Quarterback Christian Ponder may be the worst pick I put my name to this year, but the Redskins D can't seem to stop anybody. He's certainly a player to overperform this week. If he's your backup and your starter is on a bye, roll with him. Don't panic.
Phillip Rivers goes up against the horrible secondary of the Denver Broncos. They've been very questionable so far. Get Rivers in your lineup. He's a great start.
Okay, Joe Flacco had an atrocious Week 5, but I'm doubling down. The Cowboys can stop Torrey Smith. They can stop Jacoby Jones, but they have no answer for Ray Rice, Dennis Pitta, or Ed Dixon. Flacco will get his points.
Nice. Tight end, I got Jacob Tam versus San Diego. They're play on Monday Night Football. Tam had 11 targets last week. If you need him at tight end, he's a great start. These guys get up their game on Monday Night Football.
Dennis Pitta gets those Cowboys. Martellus Bennett broke out against the Cowboys in Week 1. You remember that? He was a starter until he got injured. They are very vulnerable to the tight end.
Kobe Fleener goes against the Jets. He had 9 targets last week. This week will be a great red zone target.
It wouldn't be one of my tight end picks for the week if I didn't have Kyle Rudolph in there. He's been guiding my tight end sleigh all season long, and he has hit every week but one. This is the Skins D, folks. Make it one more hit for him.
Brandon Pettigrew goes against the Birds today. What can I say? It's a tight end going against the Eagles. Start him.
And DJ Williams mentioned him when we talked about Finley's injury up top. The Texans lost a linebacker last week to injury. This could be a chance for somebody like DJ Williams to shine. Sneaky play.
Jeremy Maclin at wide receiver versus the Detroit Lions. This will be Vic's biggest target today. If you got him, I love Maclin. He's a great start.
Okay, Reggie Wayne. Is he a stud now? Am I still allowed to play with him? Darrell Revis is out. Reggie Wayne will get his targets as long as Luck has time to get his passes off, and the Jets still do have a pass rush. As long as he's passing the ball, Wayne will get his production again and again.
Mentioned him earlier in the show. Miles Austin goes up against Baltimore, fresh off a bye on the road. Ravens give up 14 catches a game to the wide receiver. Miles Austin should put it away today.
Vincent Jackson seems like he didn't even play last week. Oh, yeah, they were on a bye. He's a great play this week against the beat-up Chiefs, coming off of that bye at home. Love this pick.
Dwayne Bowe against Tampa Bay. We already talked about it. I know Brady Quinn will be throwing in the ball, but if they don't hook up in today's game, Bowe owners need to be scared.
I think Bowe owners need to be scared, Commish. I'm not loving Brady Quinn at all. Demaryius Thomas, however, continues to be a favorite target of Peyton Manning. The old man has a lot left in the tank, a lot in that arm, even though some of his passes don't look that great. Ride Thomas every week, boys and girls.
Trent Richardson against the Bengals. 2 touchdowns against them last time they met. Should continue to find success at home today.
Okay, Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. Repeat after me. Ahmad Bradshaw tore the Browns defense to shreds last week. 200 yards. Ahmad Bradshaw is not a top 5 running back in this league. Ben Jarvis Green Ellis will have a nice day. Start the law firm.
Reggie Bush versus the Rams. Great matchup, as I think Miami will run the ball all day.
Michael Turner, not dead yet. He's producing every week. Raiders D is not scary at all. Willis McGahee put up some yards last week. I see Turner doing the same. Put him down for 90 yards and a touch.
Doug Martin versus the Chiefs. Today he should get the running game in high gear as the Chiefs' defense is just bad.
Love that pick. Finally, Ryan Matthews proved he was healthy last week. The Broncos proved they can allow 250 yards rushing last week. Those two forces meet on Monday night. Matthews home field. Expect very good things as long as he doesn't get injured.
Always got to put that caveat on there.
On him, yeah.
All right, well, we got one more set of Piccalilli picks of the week to go through because we got Everett, our favorite bartender from the Piccalilli Inn on Route 206 in Chemung, New Jersey, on the phone with us. Everett, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Everett.
Hey, Everett, how's it
you?
going? How is the pick doing on the Sunday Fun Days so far?
Sunday Fun Days are in full force. We have a good turnout every week. I can't wait for the games today. The Eagles are playing at 1. Giants are rolling in at 4, so it should continue all day. It should be a good time for anybody coming out.
And you know what? With the Thursday night games in full swing, and we got a full season of Thursdays this year, you guys have a bonfire every week out there. That's got to be huge, right?
Bonfire is a good time. It's now that it's getting cold. It's that autumn or fall type of deal. Everybody likes to hang out by the fire, come watch the game, little football, in-seasonal type stuff.
Excellent. Now it's a great time at the pick. It's a great place to watch some football, and it's a great place to get some advice from Everett at the bar. Everett, who do you got a quarterback this week?
Who do I have a quarterback this week? I have Kevin Cobb this week. After
nice
the
pick.
Cardinals, finally had their first loss, and they're going up against Buffalo's great defense.
You know what?
I'm right there with you.
I think that's a great.
Yeah.
Everyone's on board. Great job there.
Okay, how about running back? Who's your play?
My play is the Jekyll and Hyde Mr. Marshawn Lynch up in Seattle. Every other week, he has a big week. He is due to have his big week this week, and the Patriots defense has been playing better than we've seen in years, but they are still susceptible to the run.
That's the same method I use to predict how the Giants are going to do each year. They have a good year, they have a bad year, they have a good year, they have a bad year. Okay, how about wide receiver?
And for wide receiver, I'm going with the other Dallas receiver coming off the bye, and they have to play the Ravens defense. I'm going to go with Mr. Dez Bryant. They're going to need him today, and I think coming off the bye, they should have a good game plan for most of the team or their playmakers.
Okay, I like all those picks. Commish, what do you think? You in on that?
Yeah, that's all good stuff, Everett. You are the guru of Chemung at the Piccalilli Inn. I love it.
Okay, Everett, before we let you go, what are the specials on tap at the pick?
Well, on tap, we always have our beer specials going on. We also have those bottle specials that I talk about every week about green bottles for the Eagles games and the Bud Light Platinum for the Giants games. But how about if you're having a party in the area, and if you're not going to hang out with me, how about you come get your food for the party from Piccalilli? We have a great takeout special for 10, 10, and 10. It's 10 wings, 10 ears, and 10 tails. And for all those people that do forget, tails are chicken fingers with sauce on them. They have the breading. And tails are breast meat lightly rolled in flour and deep fried. You guys, it's 30 pieces of chicken for $25, and it's a great deal if you're having a party and you want some food. Come out and stop by and pick up some food.
That is great wings. Great stuff.
Piccalilli Inn, it's always a party there, and if the party's at your place, bring the wings on home with you. Great drink specials. Everett, good luck this week, and we will talk to you next Sunday.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Have a good day.
You too, man.
All right. And let's go to the phone lines. We got Elliot from Delaware on the phone. Elliot, welcome to the show.
Good morning, fellas. How you doing today?
Not too bad. What do you got for us?
Hey, I got Ryan Matthews and LaShawn McCoy starting in one league. So my flex spot, I got Ahmad Bradshaw, but he's going against San Fran. Do you think Eric Decker is a better start than over him?
Do you think, Professor?
You know what? I was going to say Bradshaw's a great start regardless, but you know what? He is facing that defense, so I would say that Decker's a better play. Commish?
Yeah, I mean, Decker's going on Monday Night Football. I just, these players get up for these big games Sunday night, Monday night, even we're seeing it on Thursday night, and Bradshaw does have the tougher matchup, so yeah, I like Decker.
All right.
Hey, Allie, do you want a Sunday Funday shirt?
Sure, heck yeah.
All right, man, hold on. We'll get our producer on the phone and tell you how to get it.
All right. And when we come back, we're going to keep the phone lines going at 609-573-3776. Call us if you need any last-minute lineup help. We're also getting into some of our reaches of the week, and we still have our studs, duds, and sleepers. You're listening to the Piccalilli Inn Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show.
We're famous for a buffalo a chair, grab a table, enjoy the atmosphere. Have something good to eat or have yourself around here. If you can't stop in, stop back. Great food, great drinks where everybody is a friend. If you can't stop in, stop back. The Piccalillion.
It isn't fall without the famous Piccalilli Inn. Catch all of your favorite football action at the Piccalilli Inn. Check out the Pick's brand new menu featuring homemade buffalo chicken egg rolls, buffalo shrimp, scallops, and the tender Pick Burger. They go great with one of the Pick's ice-cold on-tap beers. Catch every football game at the Pick. Enjoy an awesome meal while you watch your favorite team. The Piccalilli Inn, a Jersey tradition since the 1920s. On Route 206 in Chemong. If you can't stop in, stop back.
The Piccalillion.
Fantasy Football, the Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. Every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. here on 97.3 ESPN. Join the Professor, the Commish, and Fantasy Insider Matt Lowry for the Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. Got a question? Call us. Who should you start? Who should you trade? Who's great? And who just plain sucks? The Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. On the web at kickassfantasyfootball.com. Yeah, kickassfantasyfootball.com. And every Sunday at 9 a.m.
I felt that one way up here.
Right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Now is your chance to experience the new game that's transforming fantasy sports. Fantasy Player Exchange is a new daily game that allows you to compete against friends and fantasy foes for cash prizes. With FPX, you can select 5 players from any active sport. Sign up now at fantasyplayerexchange.com for your chance to beat ESPN Radio's Henry the Commish Brick and win $1,000 cash. Go to fantasyplayerexchange.com to sign up and play today. Remember, that's fantasyplayerexchange.com.
Fantasy football owners, it's draft time, and kickassfantasyfootball.com makes it easy.
How do we make it easy?
Projections from the experts, cheat sheets with your scoring rules.
What else?
Articles all season long, waiver wire picks, trade advice, everything you need to win a championship.
How about a free judgment from fantasyjudgment.com, a $15 value?
Now we're talking.
Subscribe today for just $9.95. We'll throw in a complimentary cruise for 2 to the Bahamas.
Cruise to a championship with kickassfantasyfootball.com.
And welcome back to the Piccalillion Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. Hey, I'm going to keep the phone lines going, so if you need any help from our experts with any last-minute lineup questions, the number is 609-573-ESPN. That's 609-573-3776. You can also go to kickassfantasyfootball.com to get all your lineup help that you need. We also have a great newsletter. You can sign up for free. We cover waiver wires, who to pick up, who to trade and trade for. It's great stuff. It's free. You can sign up for it at kickassfantasyfootball.com. We send it out a few times a week and find out all this great information there if you're not able to get through on the phone lines. All right, guys, let's get into our Reaches of the Week, brought to you by fantasyplayerexchange.com. Play daily multi-sports fantasy against your friends for as little as $2 by picking 5 players of any sport and compete for cash at fantasyplayerexchange.com. And I have to say, it's pretty easy to beat the commish right now. All right.
Okay.
Let's get into our Reaches of the Week. Professor, what do you got for us?
Oh, you know what? Fantasy Crystal Balls, Jim Day mentioned him. Everett over at the Pick mentioned him. The cat is out of the bag on Kevin Cobb. First, the Bills D is bad. Very bad. Matt Castle killed him. Mark Sanchez killed him. QBs against them have to be played. Kevin Cobb plays him. He's missing almost all of his running backs. No run game. It's going to be like playing for Andy Reid again.
Nice. I got Bilal Powell. He's at home versus the Colts. Still not named the starter over Sean Green, but it's coming. He was in for more plays than Green last week. Green is in the last year of his contract and certainly not performing like he needs to be. Powell is a great reach this week if you need him at running back and your stars on a bye.
Wow. Are you talking smack bench against Sean Green?
Unfortunately, yes. I have to, help our listeners.
It's just like a marriage. He went through the happy I love him time, and now this is the divorce, and
I did sign a prenup.
I'm going to give you a little advice on Bilal Powell. I've been saying his name for about 15 months now. I have a lot of patience. Hey, you know what? He's not the only Powell in the reaches this week. I got the other guy from Arizona, his brother from another mother, William Powell, the last man standing in the Arizona backfield. Well, Rod Stephen Howling might have something to say about that, but let's just say you should not expect any 8-man fronts against William Powell. I think that's a given. So he's got talent like a poor man's Bernard Scott, but he faces the Bills' D. He's a thoroughly resistible force. He's facing a movable object. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's a good shot.
All right, that's good stuff, Professor. How about Carson Palmer versus the Falcons? Atlanta is capable of putting up huge numbers this week versus Oakland, which means Palmer will have to throw it a ton. If you have Breeze, Cutler, or Cam on a bye this week, not a bad bye week reach to get you through it.
All right, sounds good. So that got us through our reaches of the week. And now we got a special caller on the phone. We got Brett on the phone. Brett, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Brett.
We're on our way to the Birds game right now, and I just wanted to give a shout-out to my boy Matt Saunders, who's getting married next week.
Congratulations, Matt.
There's about 18 of us.
Nice.
Wow.
So, just wanted to, we're going to the K-Lot.
So is this what he gets instead of the bachelor party or whatever? You going to the Eagles game, or are you doing that and then, going to continue the party on?
Yeah, you got that right. Doing the whole 9 yards. Whatever he wants to do, we're doing it.
Well, as being someone who is married for 17 years, tell him I'm very sorry and my condolences. Good luck with that.
Thanks, man. Also, one more thing. Just give a shout-out to good old Michael Lauer and tell him to stay out of the porta potty as much as possible.
All right, Brett. Thanks for the call, and hey, I hope it works out well for you. Yeah.
Yeah, now you know what? We got a pick for staying out of the porta potty and for going into marriage. I think there's some balance going on there, but moving on.
All right. Hey, well, it is time to get into our Beat the Commish game going on, and we got Victor on the phone with us. Victor, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, how you doing today?
Hey Victor, great to have you on, man. I got crushed last week. Came in 11th. I'm picking the reaches the best I can, but this week I think I got it done. But tell us a little bit, our listeners, a little bit about what you got going on. I know you got basketball coming up. College is in full swing, so tell us what you got going on.
Sure. Well, at fantasyplayerexchange.com, you can play fantasy sport games on a daily basis. And the best thing about it is you can play any multi-sport that we have currently active. So right now we have football, baseball, and now basketball will be starting up soon. And we recently started college football, which is really big. Obviously on Saturday there's a million games to choose from. And the way it works is whoever has the highest return on investment wins the cash prize daily. And our big event that we're doing right now is the Beat the Commish game, which is a game daily every Sunday against you, the Commish. And whoever has the highest return wins $50 every week.
That's a beautiful thing. And if our listeners sign up right now, you have some kind of special offer for them?
We do. You get $10 free for signing up this week. All you have to do is go to the website and sign up. It's fantasyplayerexchange.com, and you'll get $10 free to play on anything you want.
And so it's basically free money because the commish is awful.
Yeah, I got to say...
This week, let's not get carried away.
For a game that's based on the stock market, those of you who are in our listening audience that want a chance to win $50, everybody in this economy can use $50, and everybody seems to be beating the commish. So make a call, and whoever does it the best gets their $50 for the week.
So you got to go to fantasyplayerexchange.com and sign up to play the Beat the Commish game, or you can go to our website at kickassfantasyfootball.com. It's right at the top of the page.
Is it just me, Professor, or is the Commish's face going a little red?
He would like very badly to change the subject, but Victor's on the line, so
I'm
he's
trying to help my friend
in.
Victor here. We're all on the same team. It's all good.
So who do you have going this week there, Commish?
This week I got Donnie Avery for the Colts. I have a lot of faith in him. I think he's a good reach pay at $34.97. Definitely a guy you want in there. Percy Harvin's been getting it done. He's my big stud of the day that I picked. Brandon Gibson of the St. Louis Rams. They got to throw the ball to somebody with Amendola out. The big waiver wire pick of the week, Vic Ballard, I got going in for just $15. And you know what? I went with William Powell, Arizona Cardinals. One of the plethora of running backs that they have to back up since Ryan Williams is out for $15.75. I threw in some big reaches, and hopefully it'll pay off big for me.
Awesome, yeah. I mean, let's see. Hopefully you'll be in the top 10 this time.
Nice.
So you always have to have goals, Commish.
Absolutely. Hey, Victor, thanks so much for coming on with us. I really appreciate it. Remind everybody again where they got to go to sign up to play the Beat the Commish game.
Sure, fantasyplayerexchange.com.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot for having me on, guys.
All right, man. Thanks for coming.
All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to keep the phone lines going. Again, that number 609-573-3776. If you need any last-minute lineup help, we'll also give you our studs, duds, and sleepers. You're listening to the Piccalilli Inn Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show here on 97.3 ESPN.
Famous for our buffalo wings. The Piccalilli. When it comes to cooking wings, we're the king. The Piccalilli. Pull up a chair, grab a table, enjoy the atmosphere. Have something good to eat or have yourself around a cheer. If you can't stop in, stop back. Great food, great drinks where everybody is a friend. If you can't stop in, stop back. The Piccalilli Inn.
It isn't fall without the famous Piccalilli Inn. Catch all of your favorite football action at the Piccalilli Inn. Check out the Pick's brand new menu featuring homemade buffalo chicken egg rolls, buffalo shrimp, scallops, and the tender Pick Burger. They go great with one of the Pick's ice-cold on-tap beers. Catch every football game at the Pick. Enjoy an awesome meal while you watch your favorite team. The Piccalilli Inn, a Jersey tradition since the 1920s. On Route 206 in Chemong. If you can't stop in, stop back.
The Piccalilli Inn.
Now is your chance to experience the new game that's transforming fantasy sports. Fantasy Player Exchange is a new daily game that allows you to compete against friends and fantasy foes for cash prizes. With FPX, you can select 5 players from any active sport. Sign up now at fantasyplayerexchange.com for your chance to beat ESPN Radio's Henry the Commish Brick and win $1,000 cash. Go to fantasyplayerexchange.com to sign up and play today. Remember, that's fantasyplayerexchange.com.
Don't let your fantasy issues become a reality. Fantasy Judgment is the premier dispute resolution service for all fantasy sports leagues. Led by attorney Michael Stein, the Supreme Court of Fantasy Judgment will resolve any and all issues or conflicts that arise in fantasy leagues. This includes disputed trades, collusion, abuse of power by league commissioners, lineup and roster errors, draft issues, score discrepancies, and interpretation of league rules. We alleviate the burden for league commissioners and allow everyone to focus on winning their leagues rather than arguing over disputes. Visit www.fantasyjudgment.com.
Fantasy football, the Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. Every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. here on 97.3 ESPN. Join the professor, the commish, and fantasy insider Matt Lowry for the Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. Got a question? Call us. Who should you start? Who should you trade? Who's great? And who just plain sucks? The Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. On the web at kickassfantasyfootball.com. Yeah, kickassfantasyfootball.com. And every Sunday at 9 a.m.
I felt that one way up here.
Right here on 97.3 ESPN.
And welcome back to the Piccalilli Inn Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. Hey, we got the phone lines open. If you need any last-minute lineup help from our experts, kickoff is just a couple hours away. Give us a call. The number is 609-573-ESPN. That's 609-573-3776. You can also go to our website at kickassfantasyfootball.com to help you get your lineup set. Okay, guys, it is time for our studs, duds, and sleepers for Week 6. Commish, who is your stud of the week?
Okay, stud of the week, and I've been very consistent with this. Percy Harvin versus Washington. The guy is the true meaning of the word stud. He catches it, he runs it in, he kick returns it for touchdowns. Love the matchup. I think he goes off again this week.
I hope so. I got him in a couple of weeks. I'm hoping you keep that streak alive, Commish. My stud, Matt Ryan. He's been a stud all year. He gets the Raiders defense this week. Sure, he'll come down to earth eventually, but not in Week 6.
Good stuff there, Professor. My dud of the week, I'm going Joe Flacco versus Dallas. Dallas is fresh off the bye, and those two corners will shut him down.
I don't know about that. I like Joe Flacco this week. Andrew Luck, however, is my dud of the week. He had an emotional game last week, and I think going on the road after an emotional game is going to take the wind out of the Colts' sails. It's hard to keep up that level of emotion, and the only way the Jets are going to win this game is on the defensive side of the ball. I think they get aggressive.
My sleeper pick of the week is going to have to be the waiver wire pick of the week. Vic Ballard versus the Jets. Don Brown out 2 to 3 weeks. Arians loves this guy. I think he unleashes him this week versus the Jets. We have him projected at 88 yards and a touchdown.
That's good production for a guy that was on the waiver wire 3 days ago. Heck,
Absolutely.
a guy that you were saying, who? About 3 days ago, most of you. My sleeper this week, Packer wide receiver Randall Cobb. You know what? He's been okay. He's been a good flex receiver, but here's a little tidbit for you you may not know. He is going to play a lot of the downs as the third down running back in this game while Cedric Benson is out. That is quite a few more touches for a guy who is a true sleeper play.
All right, that sounds great. And let's go to the phone lines. We got Mark from Bridgeton on the phone. Mark, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. Enjoy the show. It's a lot of fun.
All right. What do you got for us?
I got a couple questions, and I think you guys may have just helped me with one. First one, Randall Cobb, Robert Meacham, or Brandon Gibson for kind of a one-week fill-in. But I think you guys just helped me on the fence with that little tidbit you gave me right there.
Yeah, you know my feeling. Commish, you on board with Cobb there?
I'm absolutely on board with Cobb. I think Meacham, had an emotional game last week going up against his old team. They do got to throw the ball to somebody with the Rams, and Gibson's probably the guy, but Cobb, of the three, is definitely the guy that stands out the most.
Yeah, now I'm talking, Gibson might be probably better for the rest of the year, maybe more of a long-term solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as Benson's out, Cobb's value is artificially inflated because of the running snaps.
All right.
You got it. All right, question number 2.
Yep.
I've got Eli and RG3. And last week, RG3 cost me 2 wins. I got a bad taste in my mouth about him, but I just picture Eli going up against that nasty defense. So
you know
I don't know
what?
what to do there.
You when a guy gets injured, you just gotta take a shot, have a beer, whatever you do to relax afterwards. You can't predict injury, and you certainly can't blame him for an injury when he was trying to get that first down. You got to play him. He's definitely a better play than Eli this week. You don't play your players against the Niners unless you absolutely have to, or they are a rock-solid stud. Eli is neither.
Yeah, Mark, I got that same bad taste in my mouth. I have RG3 in several of my leagues, but you know what? You got to start him. He's got a great matchup. He is home, and they're going to make sure they protect him a little bit more this week. So RG3 is definitely a guy you want to get in there.
Okay, and
with
Mark,
a 4 o'clock start.
Yeah,
I got more time to drink beer with a 4 o'clock
No,
start. That's my plan, man.
you have time to get out to the Piccalilli Inn for a Sunday Fun Day shirt. If you want one, we'll move you over to our producer, Everett.
I tell you what, I appreciate it. Probably won't make it. It'd probably be better to give it to somebody that absolutely can get it. But I do appreciate the offer.
Fair enough. Okay.
Thanks, Mark. And I want to remind everyone, if you got any last-minute lineup questions, we got just a few minutes left. Give us a call, 609-573-ESPN. That's 609-573-3776. And we got Jessica from Woodbine on the phone. Jessica, welcome to the show.
Hello, how are you?
All right.
Hey, Jessica.
What do you got for us?
I need to know who to start for my fantasy today, Anquan Bolden or Pierre Garçon.
Ooh,
Bolden or Garçon?
That is tough. Garçon is only about in my opinion, about a 30% chance to play, but I don't think that Bolden has got a good chance to produce this week. So, are you winning this game or losing this game going in? How do you feel? You need the points, or you just need some solid production?
I need both. to be honest.
I'm gonna say roll the dice on Garçon. If he does play, he's huge.
So either one.
So
production.
Yeah, I mean, look, if Garçon's playing, you love him. He's a top 10 kind of guy. But you got to just check up until game time if he's definitely playing. If he's not, you got to go Bolden.
The problem for her is that Garçon's a 4 o'clock game and Bolden's a 1 o'clock, so she's going to have to make that call before she's going to know on it. So if you need that call early, well, no, I'm sorry. What am I saying? He's not the 1 o'clock game. He's the Thursday night game. You already made this decision, Jessica. Or no, he's the Dallas game. My bad. I'm
all right. The professor's been drinking.
There he is, top of the list.
We got to get him a.
So Garçon's the play.
Yeah, Garçon's the play.
Go Garçon.
All right. All right. Thanks, Jessica. And let's go back to the phone lines. We got Tim from Northfield on the phone. Tim, welcome to the show. What do you got for us?
Hey guys, I got a quick question. Can you help me with Morris or McFadden?
Wow, I love McFadden. He's coming off the bye. You got two great running backs there, but I think McFadden coming off the bye is the play here. He's I think he's going to give you a top 5 performance this week.
Yeah, and the Vikings defense is kind of stout, so I would go with McFadden there as well.
That's what I was thinking. Thank you very much.
Hey,
Love the show, and it's become like a ritual every week.
Oh,
so
man.
Keep it up, guys.
Thanks.
We
And hey,
love
Tim,
that.
you want a Sunday Funday shirt?
You know what? Like the other guy said, I'm not going to be in the area, but I really appreciate the offer.
All right.
Okay.
All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We got Eric from Vineland on the phone. Eric, welcome to the show. What do you got for us?
Hey, I hate to beat a dead horse, but another RG3 question.
All right.
RG3 or Peyton Manning?
Ooh. There's a bit of a change up for you.
Wow. A couple of oohs. I'm going RG3 again. I really do think he plays. I think he produces, unless he takes another pop, and it's hard to predict injuries. You know, once you get a concussion, you're susceptible to a concussion, so you really have to be careful. I do think that Shanahan protects his new best toy and plays with him smart.
Yeah, I mean, I got to go RG3 myself. He's at home. You got Denver on the road. Although it is on Monday night, but I like RG3. I mean, he's going to get it done through the air. He's very accurate passer, and he's running the ball real well. So he's a dual threat. You got to go RG3.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Yep, thanks for the question. And let's go back to the phones. We got Frank on the phone. Frank, welcome to the show. What do you got for us?
Hey guys, how you doing? Great show.
All right, what do you got?
I got Dwayne Bowe, Torrey Smith, or what guy should I run out of them? I have another guy that I was going to play already.
Okay, I really like Bo. He's got a great matchup this week. The corner that he's going against is out of Keep Talib, so even though you got Quinn throwing the ball, I'm going to go Dwayne Bowe.
I can't endorse Brady Quinn throwing anybody the ball. I'm going to go Torrey Smith here, but yeah, he does have that matchup with Talib injured. So
I got Vincent Jackson. I was definitely going to start him. I'm kind of tossed up on the other two guys. What do you feel about that?
Who was that? Who were you definitely starting? We didn't hear you.
Vincent Jackson.
Oh, Vincent Jackson.
love Vincent Jackson as a play today. That's a good one.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, V-Jack on Monday night at home. Yeah, good play.
All right.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks for the call, Frank. And we got Eugene, the Bacon Man, on the phone. Hey, Eugene.
I was wondering where you were, Eugene.
How you guys doing? Yeah, help me. Don't let me burn my bacon this morning. Look here, I need to know which kicker should I go with, Detroit or the Giants kicker?
Kicker
said, if it's a kicker question, it must be me. You go with Detroit's kicker. They're not converting in the red zone, so that's always a good opportunity for a kicker.
Yeah.
Okay, and one thing, real quick. What's it? Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates. I got it between Antonio Gates or Andre Roberts. Who should I throw in that place in there?
Oh, that's a tough one. Gates is really underperforming. Andre Roberts is getting a lot of targets, and Kevin Cobb is actually coming on as a professional NFL quarterback. Still got to go Gates.
You know what? I'm going Gates too. He's the number one target for San Diego. I think he puts it together on Monday Night Football because he knows the world's watching. Let's go Gates here.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
You got it,
my bacon's fine.
Yeah, you had me worried, Eugene, when you mentioned oats. I thought maybe you had a note from your doctor that you had to switch over from bacon to oatmeal, but...
All right, Eugene. Thanks for the call, man.
All right, you guys take care.
All right. Hey, and real quick, we got just a few seconds left. Let's Detroit, Philadelphia. Who wins this game?
The Birds. Vic lights it up today. I'm looking for 3 touchdowns. 1 to Selleck, 1 to Macklin, 1 to Deshaun.
What do you think, Professor?
You know what? I can't put any faith, trust, or hope in this Philadelphia Eagles team. I'm going the Lions. I think they finally get it together through the air and on the ground. 24-14 kind of game. And 3, I'm betting the over on fumbles and interceptions by Michael Vick. I think it's 3. The line is 1.5 for you betting folks out there.
Vic will have a mortal lock on the ball today. He's going to find a way to hold it. There's a shot he has a naked bootleg in the end zone.
Yeah, you know, he's having some of Eugene's bacon for breakfast, so his fingers are going to be a little greasy.
All right, well, thanks for listening to the Pick-A-Lillian Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. I want to thank our experts, the commish, Henry Brick, and the professor, Steve Wynn, and our kick-ass producer, Scott Ewing. I'm your host, Matt Lowry, and if you're not playing fantasy football, you're probably spending too much time watching The Voice. See you next week right here on 97.3 ESPN.